Awesome. Well, first of all, welcome to the Radicubs Robotics Parent Meeting. For those that don't know me, my name is Samratahu, and I am one of the senior captains on the Radicubs Robotics. Today, I'm joined with Ranik Gupta, who is one of our other senior captains.
Hello.
Um, then we also have Anand Vivekanand, who is our junior captain.
Hello, my name's Anand.
And then we have Ishan Gupta, who is our senior engineer.
Hello.
And so just during this parent meeting, we want to talk a little bit about like who we are, what we do, what build season like looks like, what we've been doing like these past few months, and just like how y'all can like kind of help us. And so to start, we just wanted to talk a little bit about like who we are. And so we are the Radicubs Robotics, and we are a completely student-led community robotics team. And so that in itself is really unique to the Radicubs Robotics because with a lot of other teams that you'll be seeing, like they aren't completely student-led. So maybe a mentor will be handling like the finances on the team. Well, everything on the Radicubs Robotics is done by the students. And this really allows like the students to like learn and grow, face challenges and overcome these challenges. And it really prepares them for the future. And then the next unique thing about us is that we're a community team. And so with a lot of like teams that you'll be seeing around the area, they're affiliated like with a certain school. But as a community team, we're able to serve students like district wide. So currently, I think we have students from 6 different schools. This would not be possible if we were not a community robotics team. We were established in 2017, and our mission is that we're dedicated to provide our members an outlet to pursue their passions in STEM and business. So when you think of robotics, you're probably thinking like, oh, engineering, programming, and all that fun stuff. Well, there's also like a business side to our team. Like with our robot, we need to fundraise like the money to like actually build it, and so we do have like a business team to like help us like apply for grants and like get sponsorships in order for us to actually build the robot. The other thing is business also helps with other aspects such as like media and like they create like videos for our team and such. And then with the STEM side of our team, STEM is like very inclusive, so it includes like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, programming, physics, mathematics. It includes it all. And so like our team, like while we may be a robotics team, we cover a diverse array of fields. And so you're probably wondering, like, what is FRC? I mentioned FRC in the past slide. And so the first FRC is the first robotics competition, and it's a high school robotics competition where high school students, coaches, and mentors work together during a 9-week build season that generally lasts from January to mid-March to build a robot that weighs up to 125 pounds. And so these are just some of the examples of like robots that have been built in like previous years. So if you look at the left picture, the robot that is closest to the camera, that is the robot we built last year. And so as you can see, like this was pretty much built completely by high school students. So yes, we may be high school students, but we are building very complex things and we're programming very complex things. And then on the right, that is an example of a computer-aided design robot. And so prior to building any of this, we designed robots and stuff. And so on the right, that's just like one example of like what a computer-aided design robot would look like. And so we've been very successful in our previous years. For example, in the 2018-2019 season, we won the Rookie Inspiration Award. We won the highest rookie seed 2 times, and then we won the Rookie All-Star Award. And so you'll notice that all of these awards have like rookie in front of it. And so what rookie means is like if we're a first year team, then those are like the awards that we can win. And so in fact, in our 2018-2019 season, we won all possible awards for first year teams. And so that was a really big accomplishment for us. And then in the 2019-2020 season, we won the Entrepreneurship Award, which is for having like a very good business plan and business structure.
All right, so now that we've discussed the basics of what our team is and what we do for our competitions, we can look at the specific details that go into making our robot and succeeding at competitions. So our season runs from January to March, but outside of our season, we do a lot of work in these in time periods known as preseason and postseason. So preseason runs from August to December, and during this time we do a lot of fundraising and workshops with older members. So for fundraising, we need to raise all of the money that we use during season to buy our parts and construct our robots. During workshops, we allow older members on our team to educate newer ones through a series of workshops covering a wide array of topics, such as mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. Then when we go on to season, which runs from January to March, this is when we actually build our robot. The first step is to use computer-aided design to plan out what our robot might look like. And this involves using computer software to design and model a robot virtually. And then based off of this design, we're able to prototype certain subsystems, which overall contributes to the final assembly of the robot later on in season. During the same time that this engineering is going on, the programming team is also coding the robot and testing it, which will allow us to practice using our robot before competition in late March. During the season, business team is also working on awards. So essentially, we make presentations for judges so they can evaluate our team on how well we uphold first standards, which allows us to win awards that are not necessarily tied to competition. So for example, last year, we won the Entrepreneurship Award, which recognizes our excellence in entrepreneurship. And this was because since we are a community team, we're able to reach out to surrounding community organizations and businesses. So essentially, our business team allowed us to win that award. So during season, all three of these fields, engineering, programming, and business, are all working together to make sure that our team is a success. Towards the end of season, we compete at nearby tournaments. Some tournaments that we've gone to in the past are, they were located in Fort Worth and Plano. So that's another part of season. And after we compete at these tournaments, season is essentially over. We hold workshops at the end of the year, so postseason extends from March to August, and during this time, we hold workshops. Our older members are able to hold workshops over other topics such as electrical engineering and mechanical engineering for younger members. And we also perform outreach to local education centers or to other middle schools in the area. And this allows us to really connect with the community. So on our team, we have three main sub-teams. So we have the software team, the engineering team, and the business team. So we talked a little bit about these on the previous slide, but now we can go a little bit more in depth. So the software team primarily uses Java and the electrical board to develop programs for the robot to complete certain tasks. So when we actually build the robot, it requires code to run all of the subsystems and to actually control it, which is what the software team does. So while the engineering team is constructing the robot, the programming team is making all the code necessary to drive all the necessary subsystems and then test it to ensure that everything's working smoothly. The engineering team is taking on an approach to designing the robot, which first involves CAD, which is computer-aided design, as we discussed, so virtually modeling the robot, and then prototyping those subsystems, and then finally putting those together for the final assembly and conducting testing. Also during this time, like during season, the business team works on securing the necessary funding needed to build the robot during build season. And this involves like applying to various grants, emailing local companies for sponsorships, and writing essays for the FRC awards. So some of our goals during season are to accumulate $30,000 by the time of build season. And we do this by gaining community sponsors and applying for grants. Another goal that we have for this season is to achieve FRC awards at the competition and advance to districts, which is the next level on top of regionals. And the final goal is to create a productive environment while also making the team feel like a family, which is very valuable to us because we pride ourselves on being inclusive to all students and providing opportunities. So these three are our main goals for this season. And hopefully by achieving these goals, we will become a more successful team overall. So here are some reasons why FRC is really beneficial to the students who are on our team. So through FRC, you're able to get real life application for engineering, programming, and business. You're able to learn time management, and you're able to get new friends that encourage and help each other, essentially like through teamwork. And it's also an opportunity for networking. So for example, I can speak for programming. It's helped me become a better programmer overall. Even though I've taken programming classes in high school, robotics was a way for me to apply these and get better at it. And for example, networking, I was able to connect with one of our mentors and gain additional opportunities to pursue over the summer. So these perks really do help our students. And it's one of our reasons that the students who are on our team are exceptionally well, talented and well, they gain many new opportunities by participating on our team.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the build season. All right, so basically in build season, we've kind of broken down to two sections. There's going to be the first 2 weeks of season and then the rest of season. So build season initially starts in January 9th, and the first 2 weeks will be brainstorming and basically just CAD. So most of the first 2 weeks is just going to be online and virtual. So that's going to include, you're going to CAD the different parts of your robot. You're going to brainstorm the events and how you're going to design your robot. And then after that, we're going to go over game theory. And while the mech team is doing this, the business team will do some preparation for virtual awards and competitions. This can include the entrepreneurship award that we did last year. Yeah, that's about it. And then for the remainder of the season, the mech team then will be more involved while going to our workspace in Textamount. And that will be including actually prototyping and testing. So basically what we do is we use a CNC machine, and that is going to take whatever our computer designed and convert that into actual metal. So we'll be able to use our online versions of a robot and essentially print it out so we could prototype the robot and test it. And then after that, we'll be actually building the robot once we have all the parts correct, and we'll be testing that too. While this is going on, the programming team will have more of a role as more parts are completed, and therefore they'll be programming the parts, making sure that the robot is completely functional and there are no flaws in the program. And throughout all this, the business team will continue their preparation for the awards. Some important things to note is that build season is a big time commitment. As you see on the slide, it says 3 hours per day for 6 days a week. Obviously, we're not going to ask them to come in every day of the week, but the more frequent you are, the more involved you get into the robotics team. And 3 hours per day is a long time, but it's necessary in order to get all the discussions and everything like organized and to be able to complete the robot on time. There will be some at home like work times, and that's going to mostly be in the first 2 weeks when we're CADing and basically just discussing how we normally have been through Zoom meetings. So some dates to keep in mind is on this month in December 19th, we'll be having a move-in day. That is, if anyone wants to volunteer to help move all of our stuff from our storage space to Textamall, that's going to take place on December 19th, Saturday morning. Then 2 days after that, on Monday evening, we'll have our first safety workshop. All members are actually required to attend at least one safety workshop. They're the same safety workshop. We'll have one in December 21st, and the other one will be in the first 2 weeks of January. And the date is still to be determined. We'll determine with our members on what's the best date for them. Then on January 9th is the start of build season. and the season will end around mid-March.
I would just like to add here, these are all tentative, or like at least most of these are tentative dates. We're still waiting for like a confirmation from our workspace before we can actually do some of these things. But if everything goes to plan, this should be our schedule for moving in and then like starting build season.
All right, now a really, really important part of our team is safety regulations. So safety is our #1 priority. And this is, in a normal year, this would just mainly constitute our workspace rules or regulations and our tool regulations, just to make sure that every member, they can, while using all of these advanced tools, they will be safe. But this year, there's also COVID. So our team has drafted a safety plan to ensure that everyone stays safe while also hopefully making a new robot. So over here, you can see our COVID-19 policy. Wait, actually, can you click the link? Yeah. Okay. So so this is a safety plan that we have drafted. I'll just quickly go over this, but this is the document that we will be sending to all students and parents. And these regulations will need to be signed in order for this for each student to participate in our season. Um, so we basically start with like self-care, and we have expectations that everyone is going to be using like masks at all times, and mandatory hand washing and the use of sanitizer at the beginning and at the end of meetings. And then in social distancing, our workspace is rather large. Um, for prior members, we are using the same workspace as last year. And so we're limiting the number of students to 7 and 1 mentor or adult chaperone at any time. So this will make sure that there's like enough space that people can um, as far apart as possible while working on the robot. Um, and then we will have signups. So that essentially means that before each week, we'll have like a sign up, and everyone can sign up at which day they want to come in and work, essentially. Um, Now, before entering the workspace, we're going to have a screening process. Now, the screening process is essentially going to be making sure that no one who's feeling ill or feeling sick is going to be like entering, obviously. And also, we will be using a thermostat to make sure that everyone is feeling okay. And then in shared materials and tools. So we use so many tools to build our robot. We have like quite a few carts full of tools. So and these will all be shared. So to maximize safety, what we've designed is we're going to have a cart or a cart full of tools, of used tools. So whenever someone uses a tool during a meeting, the tool, instead of being placed in their normal cart or tray, we will be placing it in a specific used cart. And at the end of the meeting, like sanitize and fully clean that, like all carts and then all tools on the used cart. Now, if someone in the case that someone does get sick, all students and mentors and parents will be contacted, and basically outlining the situation, as well as the infected person needs to stay quarantined for at least 2 weeks, and they must test negative before they can come back to meetings, just to ensure that they're feeling well and they can safely return to our season.
You can click next. Yeah. Okay. So for our new members, here are a few pictures of what our workspace really looks like. It is quite large, and we did have quite a bit of fun last year in it. We do have these really long tables. So what essentially happened was, if you look at the first picture, those tables are where many of our business team members and our coding team members basically worked at. And we removed the table tennis, the table, and we set up all of our tools and our workshop right over there. So all the engineering team members were working over there. So now, obviously, with 7 members and like one chaperone or mentor, people can spread out quite a bit in this facility. Okay, now our last section. We need as much help as possible. So we would like to invite all parents, if they can help, we would greatly appreciate it. And some ways that you guys can help us is just supporting us financially. Anant did mention that we are trying to raise 30 grand this year, and that will support this season and our future plans for expansion. Other ways you can help us are just mentoring or chaperoning. And mentors and chaperones, they really help us grow both knowledge-based, because we're always welcoming mentors to like teach us on like coding or engineering basics. And chaperones are always helpful for just running our entire build season. You guys can also help us by transporting us to meetings, volunteering at our outreach events, and cheering for us during competitions. Okay, do you guys have any questions?
You're welcome to like unmute and speak, or you can just put in the chat, whichever you're most comfortable with.
Yes, we have several questions. This is Olga Iglesias. And well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting the parents in this meeting. It's fabulous. I feel very motivated. I know my son told me about the club and what you guys were doing, but it's much better to hear from you guys, and it's excellent presentation, excellent goals. So I have several questions, but I think other parents may have also questions. So where are you guys based exactly? What city or location?
So we are based primarily in Frisco. Students, most of our members are from Frisco high schools. So I can send the address for our workspace in chat. So it isn't very far. I think it took us like 15 minutes drive last year.
Yeah, so if you know where the Star Stadium is, like the Cowboy Stadium, it's like very close to the Cowboy Stadium.
Okay, perfect. Perfect, because I didn't know where I had this idea that you guys were from out of state or something, but this is very good to know that you are part of the Frisco area. And think, how can we contribute, or are you going to send that information at more details later? How can we support you, or how can we probably ask in our company where I work if they can contribute to the program?
Yeah, so like if you want to like send us an email, like just saying like how you or like your company like wants to contribute, our email is radicubs@gmail.com. I believe it was on the first line. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so our email our email is radicubs@gmail.com. It's on the bottom left corner, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. So if you want to send us an email on like how like you would like to contribute to our team, whether it be mentoring, chaperoning, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and send us an email, and then we'll reach out to you, and then we can continue the conversation there.
Excellent. Thank you.
So one thing to note is that we are, well, our parent company is actually a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So all donations that are made will be tax deductible. So not only does it help us, but you get to pay a fraction of like, you get to pay less taxes as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind, because it really does help both parties when everyone contributes.
Okay, thank you.
Where are you at in relation to your the amount of funds that you're trying to raise?
Rana, do you want to talk about it?
Yes. So right now, we are working to how we try to fund ourselves is by reaching out to local businesses and large corporations to give us sponsorships, and then we apply for several grants throughout the year. So far, our collected our collect our like how much we've earned from grants and sponsorships, as well as money that we have from last year, collected from last year, is about 20 grand. So we're working to gain the extra 10 grand by applying to mainly larger corporations to get sponsorships and grants from them, such as American Airlines. So yeah, our entire team, usually during preseason, our business essentially our entire team, because we all have to work towards our financial goal.
Just like one thing I would like to add is like 20,000 is generally like our operating budget. So like it's like kind of like a base of like where you need to be to like continue for another season. The 30K is for like expansionary purposes. I know like something like I want to do, and something Rana and Nand and Ishan all want to do, is like we want to see this team grow. We want to see this team become one of like the powerhouse teams in the world. And so like 30K is just for like expansionary purposes. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like a lot of the money that we have collected from the 20 grand, like approximately 10 grand has been collected from our previous season. And so we do want to continue to like have that that can carry on to next year and the years ahead, so we can save up for larger machines and like larger workspaces.
Hi, I'm Ashutosh. I'm Niharika's dad. So I have been associated, like I was fortunate to get to be associated with Radicubs for the past 2 years. So I'm well aware of the process of how it goes, like the robot build season and the your competitions. This year, like because of pandemic, all the situation is very different. So the question I had is that are there like if uh, is FRC, which is the company which conducts these competitions, are they planning to have the competition in the arena? Like,
Yeah, so I can answer that. So how like FRC is going to be doing is going to like happen this year is there's actually the 3 different competitions. Two of them are virtual. One is like partially in person. So I guess you're mostly wondering about like the partially in person one. So for the partially in person one, we are allowed to build a robot, and then we will like actually like record our robot like I guess playing the game essentially. And so like we won't be going to like any big arena that like we have in the past, but instead this year we'll just record our robot, and then we'll send that to judges who will like score, but basically like how many points we got based on like what our robot can do, and then from that they'll place like rankings and stuff like that.
so it's only going to be like you build a robot and then record it and then send it to FRC and then they will be ranking.
Basically, yes.
So there will not be any competitions in the arena.
Yeah, so like because of this pandemic, like I don't think FRC wants to like host like large competitions this year. So this is like their alternate plan essentially.
Okay.
Will they
That
have,
means you will have to create the arena as well, right? I mean, last year it was more of the robot, but now you will have to prepare the whole game board as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. We already have like some of the arena pieces from like last year just because like we wanted to practice with our robot. And so this year we'll probably be building more of the arena pieces, just like the ones we would need. And then yeah, so you're completely correct.
are they going to
Oh,
have a judge at the filming for
Um,
each of the teams?
so okay, so
No,
oh, go ahead.
here I can answer that. So actually, there won't be a judge at each one of the filming. What they look for is they'll actually go through some type of virtual inspection, or at least this is the information that they've so far given teams. They're going to go through some type of virtual inspection, and like uh, for each task in the in the game, you're going to record a video. So like there are going to be multiple short clips. So like of let's say the robot shooting as many balls as it can in the autonomous period. Um, and also, I just wanted to add really quickly to the previous question about game pieces. While we might need to create a few more game pieces, it isn't, we don't need to create the entire game board because everything is divided into short clips of like these small parts of the game. Um,
And then just to add on to that, so at the beginning of like every season, FRC like releases like a huge handbook of rules. Last year I think it was like almost 100 pages of like just rules. And so like from that we'll basically have like what we did last year is we analyzed the rules to see like, oh, like we don't mess anything up from the beginning. And so we'll be doing that again just to ensure that like we're following all the rules and we don't get like disqualified. And then Miss Rogers asked a question. She asked
I can answer that.
oh yeah. So she asked, you said each workstation was spaced out 6 feet. Is it only one person per workstation?
So essentially, yes, it's going to be like at times it will be one person per station. Otherwise, normally when we're going to be combining the parts into the robot, it's not really one person job. It's like going to be multiple people. In those situations, it's kind of also brought out like in the COVID safety guidelines. We will have sanitizers and we will have a complete wipe down after every meeting. So we are trying to make it as safe as possible.
I think the purpose of creating those stations and having them 6 feet apart is that for the grand majority of these meetings, people will be separated. It's only when we need to combine like a few of the larger components in a robot that team members will need to be like working together, like in close proximity.
Okay, this is Olga Iglesias again, and this commitment of 3 hours a day for 6 days, when exactly starts that commitment? In what day?
Yeah, so I can answer that. So basically, our like build season, like this commitment starts around like the beginning of January. I think it was January 9th, and then it ends around mid-March. I know we said 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. Obviously, that is like if this is like your first year doing robotics, that's just insane because like almost no other like club or organization at school like does that. So like we very much encourage like students to like take breaks as needed. I remember my first year when I was doing 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. It was very tiring and I almost burnt myself out. So yeah, we definitely encourage our like students to take breaks when needed, but we also want them to be like involved just because um, like robotics is like a very it's a very difficult thing to do if you don't have like active members. So yeah, so we want like our members to like find a good like work and like life balance to where like they aren't being burnt out every week, but they're also like actively contributing to our robot.
Okay. And is this time working, is that attending a location specifically, or there are some specific assignments that the students are given to for these 3 hours a day? Because I need to know if I'm going to be driving my son back and forth, or how, where is this happening exactly?
Yeah, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, so basically the first 2 weeks from January 9th to let's say, I believe it was the 24th,
Uh-huh.
that's going to be all online. So there's going to be not driving or anything to the workspace and back. And then after that is going to be all in the actual workspace. Now, what we've done for the, like, this is also going to technically be part of the COVID safety guidelines where we have that sign up thing, and we only have a limit of 7 people technically coming over to the meetings. So that will allow for, like, let's say a student to come in maybe every other day or something. So
Okay.
that way you won't be driving them to and from like every day. It might be every other day or a bit less. So essentially, it's going to be after the first 2 weeks start of season, maybe in the week of Jan 24th.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned like specific tasks we do. So like the thing is, before each meeting, we set like certain goals that we want to get done that meeting, and we do our best to achieve them. And so that really like keeps us on track, and it also ensures that we're using our time efficiently rather than just like wasting time and like wasting their time when they could be doing other things.
Okay.
And one last thing that I'd like to reiterate is that we will be having signups. So essentially, we have a limitation of 7 students and 1 mentor or chaperone. And we have approximately 20 students on our team. So, and since only 7 students can go at one time, we'll be putting out signups. So students who want to go on a particular day can sign up for that day for a particular slot. So it's possible for like students to coordinate when they can get transportation and when they can't. So that's something that signups will allow us to do. And another thing is that towards the beginning of season, it will mainly be the mechanical team that's going to the workspace because they need to, they need to prototype the subsystems, but afterwards, less mechanical people can start going and more programming people can go because we need to write the code for testing. So season can sort of be broken down into which sub teams need to be there. So that's one thing that the signups will allow us to do. So I encourage that everyone talk with their child to see like, so maintain like communication when they need to go to the workspace and what day they've signed up for. And that will really let us streamline when students can come and when they can't. And it'll help make our procedure a success.
Excellent. So the way to communicate with you guys, besides the of course our children kids, is through the email that is here, radicubus@gmail.com.
Yes, that would be the fastest way.
Okay.
Yeah, if you email us, we'll get back to you within a day. So
okay, excellent. Thanks.
A question about that. I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm Ernie. I am Corbin's dad. 3 hours a day. Are there ways that you could do some split times with someone to keep from, taking you away from other things like homework or things of that nature, where you could do an hour and a half and your partner or someone else can split the other hour and a half with you? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, so like I don't think we would mind it. The thing is like, I guess like, let's say Corbin can only come like the first hour and a half, then he would have to coordinate with someone else and also tell us like who's taking a spot, just so we know, and like so that like that spot doesn't go wasted. Also like I know it says 3 hours a day, but like that's like just a stretch. Usually it's around like 2 to 2.5 hours a day at most. So yeah.
And
Yeah.
another significant chunk of that 3 hours was transportation. So I hope that won't be that much of an issue today because this year, because with our like 7 people restriction, some people will be working from home. So hopefully we can trade off between people. So that'll help reduce transportation time, and that'll help reduce the overhead time of just working on the robot, because less people means more efficiency. and we can work asynchronously if you're not necessarily there at the meetings.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was just curious because he is a wrestler. If they have the season, which is completely in doubt now, but if they did have it, he would have those in the evenings some nights of the week. That's the reason I was asking. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Like one thing that Radicubs tries to do, like I remember this last year, and we're also trying to do it this year. I'm pretty sure it was their last year with Samar and Anand, is that the captains they keep very open with their members, and like if the members have anything, even if it's homework or it's just like a specific situation, as long as a member communicates with the captains, we will definitely find a way to work around it.
Great. That is great.
Hey guys, Vineet here. I didn't introduce myself earlier on. Ranit and Ishan's dad. So this is my second year with Radicubs as a parent. And I just wanted to call out to all the parents to contribute graciously and maybe call in for your companies if they can contribute. Because I think one of the biggest drivers to make this continuity in this team for years and years to come and grow, I think that's our role to help them. They do get grants, which kind of contributes around 50% of what they set up their goals. But they have to increasingly have bigger goals to have better machines. And right now they are taking a workspace from one of the parents, but that may not be continuously available in future years as well. So I think it's more like building a budget for future as well.
And how do you guys decide what prototype or what area of application is the robotics going to have? Because I think according to the application of the robot, some companies may be more interested in contributing. You know what I'm trying to say here? So how do you guys decide what type of robot to build?
So I can answer that. So primarily on our kickoff day, FRC, which runs our competition, announces the challenge that we'll be solving with our robot. So last year, our challenge consisted of being able to launch balls known as power cells into ports. This was like, it was shooting balls into a target as well as manipulating other things on the field. So it really varies from year to year. We don't actually know what the competition, we do actually. The competition is going to be similar to that of last year, but I anticipate that there will be some changes. So competition is usually like the details are fully announced on January 9th with the updated rules. So we can't really say what exactly our robot will look like until then. And even afterwards, for the 2 weeks, we'll be brainstorming and using computer-aided design to plan out what our robot might look like and what our robot will do and how we can score the maximum amount of points in our game.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to add, just as a general kind of thing across all years, most seasons incorporate like a shooting mechanism, a driving mechanism, some type of intake mechanism where a robot picks up some materials off the ground, and some type of lift mechanism. So lift can be either pushing your robot up on a platform or hanging on something or reaching up to grab something. Those are like major mechanics are pretty much always present.
Wow. Thank you. And this is again, this is Olga Iglesias. This is the first time that we join Radicubs. And what is the proper way to approach companies for contribution? Is there a specific letter, presentation that you guys provide, or we just kind of approach our companies with kind of trying to get some donations?
Yes. Okay. So we do have a fundraising fundraising packet, essentially. So that outlines our essentially the different amounts that a company or a group can contribute, and then there are different perks to like different amounts that they contribute. And so essentially this packet outlines like the relationship that we can have with any company.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
we can send that to the to all parents. Yes. Okay. So I think Samrat is showing it on screen. So it basically tells a little bit about our group, what our goals are, what we want to accomplish in short term and long term, and then yeah, companies that supported us in the past, and then our fundraising, like our plans and our financial goals, and then oh wait, I don't think this is the updated packet. This is last year's packet.
Yeah, this is last. Oh, well, it's like the beginning of this year's, but yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
And so yeah, we can provide this to you, and you can show like whoever you're contacting this packet, and they can like either contact us, contact you, however they want to do it, essentially.
Definitely. So you said there are about 20 members?
Yes, that's correct.
Students, 20 students. Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I would just like to all the parents who are like, whose kids are joining Radicubs for the first time. This is my third year because my son was also part of Radicubs and now my daughter is there. I can assure you that this is a very, very nice, excellent initiative, which will not only get the student learn how, in future, all the workplace is going to be a team environment. No one is going to work individually. So I think that based on this experience, they will become very good team players. That's what I have seen my daughter and son. They learn how to take responsibilities and how to be a good team member, how to take initiatives. So there are different learning aspects of that. It's not only you learn about, and also they will get to learn about new advanced technologies like computer programming, mechanical engineering is there, and again business development is there. So it will surely help them to become and create an overall personality. And this year being students not able to, like many of the students are attending classes online, so they miss the aspect of the camaraderie and the team building. So I think this is a very nice way in which they can have fun as well as enrich themselves to become better citizens and better corporate people in future.
Thank you so much. Thanks for telling us. So what are the requirements for the students to participate? Do they have to be in high school or is as they want? What is the age requirements or?
Yeah, so they just like, I think to participate in the first robotics competition, all they have to be is like a high school student. I know like FRC is very inclusive, so like it doesn't matter like what your technical background is or like your, I don't know, like your ethnic or origin backgrounds are. You just need to be a high school student and you can participate.
Okay, so when you finish high school, it's kind of you are out of the team. Oh.
Yeah, so yes, you are out of the team when you finish high school, but I will say that after high school, what a lot of like alumni do is they mentor like teams that are like near their college, because there's like thousands of like FRC teams, and so there's a good chance there's like 1 year like you're like the college you go to, and so they mentor like local teams, and that's also just another rewarding experience for them.
Technically, you're not really out of the team. Like we still do have alumni channel. You still do keep those connections with your
seniors or your members underneath you. It's that relation that continues on for a long time. And they also do help out whenever we have a question about how to manage the team or anything. They respond really fast, and they're still part of the team tech.
Okay, good.
All
Well,
right,
it's
then.
very, very exciting, guys. I'm so glad that you guys invited us to this meeting. Sounds extremely exciting, and I'll try to contribute as much as possible from my son, Corey Goldman. He was very excited when he joined and very glad to be accepted. So thank you very much for this presentation, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure seeing you all and speaking to y'all. If y'all have any other questions, y'all can just give us an email. We'll respond very quickly. Yeah, with that being said, I guess if there's no other questions, then this is the end of the current meeting. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Nice
Thank
to see you,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Great presentation.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Jack.